Good morning and welcome to Straight Talk Live on Echo FM 100.7. How in a day, everybody? Welcome aboard to the main event on radio. Okay, apologies for everybody. Yesterday, it was somehow I couldn't get here. Okay, but thank God for you. You were always there. For those of you who called and asking me and wishing me well, I thank you so much for remembering Barry Cosmos in a very serious time of need. All right, so thank you all. And of course, welcome aboard. Thank management and staff of Echo FM for being there, carrying on. Whether you like or you don't like, the show must go on. Okay, today is another beautiful Friday. It's the weekend edition of the People's Program. And we want to take a look at our education sector in Nigeria, WAEC to be precisely. WAEC results have been released, and once again, too many issues surrounding WAEC results, and this time around is more or less the mass failure of people in the southeast in WAEC, and that is so surprising to a lot of schools, a lot of homes, and so many people. Now, a lot of people say they are playing politics with our WAEC students to reduce the number of graduates in the southeast, to reduce, don't say southeast the most educated side and things like that. But is that really true? Well, mass failure of Igbo language in the southeast, where predominantly the language they speak is Igbo, and the people and their children are failing in Igbo language massively, and that calls for a big time worry. So many parents are not happy, so many schools are not happy. So what is the cause? What is the actual cause of this mass failure in Igbo language in our children? They go to school, they don't know how to write Igbo, they don't know how to speak Igbo, and they write Igbo language in WAEC, and they fail it. And so many schools are not taking that aspect very, very serious. If you go to Yoruba land, they all excel in Yoruba language. How come we don't excel in Igbo language here in the southeast? Go to Hausa land, the only thing they excel so well is Hausa language, or at least the Fulani language or whatever they use there. But definitely it's the Hausa language. But here, why are our children failing massively in Igbo language in our schools? So let's come down to Akbarikbo today on this show. Again, WAEC said about 1,950,722 candidates sat for the 2026 WAS exam. Only 61.54% obtained at least 5 credits, including English and mathematics. We're not talking about A or B. We're saying credits. Only 38.46%. They couldn't reach that landmark at all to get credits. At least 5 credits in WAEC. That's about 750,000 people failed WAEC. That is a very, very serious number. Well, that's a very big national, very poor national outcome. But calling it as simply as a mass failure may not be the major thing. But that's a very serious poor performance from our children in the secondary school. So the big question is that why did some schools report results that appear dramatically worse than their students performed previously? Most of the students have performed very well in other examinations, both internal and external, performed so bad in this year's WAEC, particularly in the southeast. So that becomes a very big controversy. Why are they doing that? That is where the controversy becomes very serious. So, well, the biggest factor is the CBT that was introduced. There was a CBT option in this WAEC that people wrote with hand, and some people did the CBT exam. And for that reason, it became a very big factor that failure is imminent. Some people say glitches, some people say 1 or 2 issues with the CBT exam. Of course, we know that most schools don't have CBT centers. And some schools who are well-to-do spent about 60 million naira to fix their CBT centers. This according to reports. And of course, they did not use the CBT at the end of the day because what? The CBTs either were not accredited or because the WAEC couldn't just make provision for taking that exam, the CBT centers, on that schools that have already, put up that particular center for their own examination. That becomes a very serious matter. Recall that WAEC said they were going to transit 2 years ago from the handwritten exam to CBT, computer-based test exam. That so many schools started preparing for that, only for them to revisit the issue. I'm not saying writing on by hand is bad, but definitely, if you're not ready for things, don't announce it. So, this CBT transition 2026 examination was conducted as computer-based WAEC, and schools are reporting that some students who had performed strongly in internal examinations and standardized examination received unexpectedly low WAEC grades, where some schools administrators have alleged that there were technical problems during the CBT, problems with questions and item serialization. I mean, that's a very serious matter. If your serialization doesn't work and then the questions are not correct, then that becomes a very big issue. Well, unexpected discrepancies between students establish academic performance and WAEC grades. So that's another very big issue. That's what schools are saying. Problems affecting particular subjects. Why are children always failing a particular subject? And the possible problems in processing of grading of some of the CBT scripts. So these are issues the schools are calling and reporting. So with this now, where do we go from here? The allegations are not yet established. Well, but definitely WAEC maintains that its results went through its normal marking moderation and quality assurance procedure. But the big but in this is that there is somebody who reported this matter about WAEC not ready and they have these issues, and instead of WAEC to tackle the issues with their own staff, they place the man on punishment. Well, the head of examination at WAEC office covering in Anambra State, Olarewaju Fadeha, made allegations in a now viral video. That's a viral video now that's going on about that candidates who sat the computer-based version of the examination were particularly affected. Okay, so that's what Fadehan said. The results from the schools are deep in allegation of glitches and irregularities by officials of the examination body, where Fadehan alleged that the problems were noticeable. Now, I want you to underline this particular side. He said the problems were noticeable and around the release of the results, which he said was initially expected to be announced between August 3rd and 5th of this year, 2026, adding that WAEC had traditionally released results on Monday. Further went further to say it is obvious there was a problem because of the press was eagerly waiting on Monday, the scheduled date. There was a need to quickly do some last-minute adjustment. Something was wrong. That is what he said. There was last-minute adjustment, and something was wrong. So who called for those last-minute adjustments? And that's where the political angle comes in. We'll go to that. Well, according to him, the alleged last-minute adjustment affected candidates who sat the computer-based examination, particularly in subjects including mathematics, English, and Igbo language. Now, without maths and English, you ain't getting to know university in Nigeria. That's a fact. Everybody knows that. So they now brought in last-minute adjustment before 3rd and 5th when they were scheduled to release the WAEC result. This is what a WAEC, head of WAEC, directorate of WAEC in Anambra State was saying. Surprisingly or interestingly, is a Yoruba man, Olarewaju Fadeha. Now, so with this, he also expressed concern over reports that some candidates from Southeast performed poorly in Igbo, despite the subject being widely spoken in the region. Fadeha said schools that invested heavily in computer-based examination facilities were also affected, alleging that some spent over 60 million establishing the facility in anticipation of the transaction to CBT. Well, the call for a review of this year is particularly disturbing as it is alarming. So that is what we are going to be taking a look at today. Why are these issues always, every time WAEC release results? Every time we hear last-minute adjustment, what are they adjusting? So is WAEC trying to tell Nigerians that the results they release is not the actual results students performed? They want to make particular region perform poorly or what? Who gave the instruction for last-minute adjustment? Why are they doing adjustment? So these are questions that need answers. So this very beautiful morning, I'd like to hear your take on this particular matter affecting our school children. It is so sad, but that's what it is. Welcome aboard, everybody. This is Straight Talk, the People's Program, the main event on radio with the Radio Marshal, Harry Cosmos. Okay, let's take one or two headlines on the pages of the newspaper before we come back for this conversation on WIEG. We start off with the Punch newspaper. On the Punch newspaper this morning, Tinubu APC governors moved to fix campaign list crisis. Now, there's a very serious campaign list crisis. You know, APC, they go do something where people shout, they're going to adjust time in a way where APC, they'll cover that thing, but it's still existent. Where President Bola Tinubu on Thursday held closed-door talks with governors elected on the platform of the All Progressives Congress, otherwise known as the Progressive Governors Forum, at the Aso Rock Presidential Villa. Well, the Thursday's meeting is at the latest in the back-to-back series of engagement with governors and top chieftains of the party at Aso Rock to resolve the crisis, trailing the controversial Presidential Campaign Council list released by the party last Saturday, August 23rd, where the Punch observed that the governors marched to the president's office shortly before 4 p.m. on Thursday after emerging from a separate session of the National Economic Council chaired by Vice President Kashim Shettima. Well, the consultations, which began since Wednesday, were aimed at reviewing and reworking the PCC list, which has continued to generate controversy since its release. Where that list had the head of NRS as the head deputy director of fundraising. How can you put our own, the head of National Revenue Service Commission as somebody who's supposed to raise money for your campaign? I don't know where, how, who, or how managed that happened, but it did happen. It's in the PCC list. Well, Senator Dino Melai said he was going to court. I think I did that program here. We all saw it, and there are multiple party sources. They have said they are going to review the list. So, in other words, you are going to sugarcoat the list. I removed some of those highlights here and there. But the instruction to them is clear. The intention is clear. So what's your first? Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So if you have done this ab initio, it means you have intention of doing whatever people are accusing you of. But if that is not the intention, well, only time will tell what is your take on this particular move by the presidency and the governors, APC governors, who are now meeting to rejig the APC Campaign Council list, the Presidential Campaign Council, the PCC. All right, we also have 7,825 abducted, 7.8 billion naira ransom paid in 1 year. This is according to report. You can grab a copy of the Punch newspaper, get more details on that one. Army raids Boko Haram and ISWAP camp in Adamawa State, and they killed 21. You can grab a copy and get more details on that one. FRSC hails Special Marshal's role in reducing road crashes. Police probe farmland destruction, land grabbing claims in Ogun State. This is so sad. If you see videos of these Fulani headers cutting people's crops, corn that has been cultivated, growing, they clear it just to make sure that there's no food for the country. The farmer loses his crops, Nigeria loses food. And they do this and they get the hell away. The videos, you know the funniest thing, why they are doing that, they record it and they post it. Nobody has been identified in that video by our security agencies to look at this. Somebody will go to somebody's corn, pluck corn and give it to cows to eat. This is how hunger has become the order of the day in this country. No little wonder you now see just corn. One corn now, how much did they sell one corn now? Be like now 1,700, 500 for one maize. And the most alarming is that most of this maize is GMO. Most of them are not the natural maize we used to eat. The Igbo maize that used to be so sweet. Oh, God, if you eat that maize, it's so sweet. Now you eat it, and it causes you ulcer. Unbelievable. So this is exactly what people are saying. But in Ogun State Police Command has launched an investigation into allegations of farmland destruction, criminal intimidation, and suspected land grabbing in Ojogbo, Akia community of the state, where the investigation followed media reports on concerns raised by traditional leadership and residents of the community over alleged activities of suspected land grabbers. The Commissioner of Police, Ogun State Command, Bode Ojajuni, ordered an immediate and comprehensive investigation into the allegation. Well, I've done a massive report. I think that's on social media. You can go check it up. I've done a massive report on this land matter. I posted it out there. So if you want to get more details on this, you better look for that video and watch. Well, according to the command, on Friday, investigation aimed to establish the fact, identify those responsible for any criminal act, and ensure that everyone found culpable is brought to justice. When I don't talk, and talk is cheap, go do it. And then show us if you have already done it. Before, when the Nigerian police, we are going to bring these people, they bring it, we see them. Right now, it's only Yahoo Boys, they parade every time. Let's move on to the Vanguard newspaper. On the Vanguard newspaper, we have NFF crisis. Tinubu orders comprehensive reform of Nigeria's football. Please pursue all of everybody in the NFF. Pursue them. If FIFA want banners, main banners, you better say we'll pursue these people. Call arrange. We need ex-professionals who understand the game, who knows what it takes, who knows what competitions are. Look at Cameroon. Look at Cameroon. Samuel Eto'o, one of the greatest players in Cameroon, is now their Football Association president. Cameroon, that has never gone past quarterfinals in the WAFCON, defeated Nigeria and lifted WAFCON under the guidance of Samuel Eto'o. And their football, they are now bringing out stars again. Their football male team is beginning to wax stronger. Give them 2 years, 3 years, they'll win AFCON again. So I don't know what our NFF is doing. This NFF, we couldn't qualify for World Cup. Our female that has been perennial champion since the inception of women football in Africa could not qualify for World Cup. What an embarrassment. They need all of them, everybody. Tinubu pursued them, flogged them, Koboko, sent all of them out of that place. They're just eating money. For under this NFF, every tournament we go here say they owe money, they don't do this one, they don't do this one. Qatar go be crisis, they go hold our players hostage, embarrassing Nigeria up and down. Everything is just going jaga. Anyway, 756 crises in 7 months. Experts seek tougher actions against Nigerian sexual violence. So this is a very serious matter. Go grab a copy of the Vanguard newspaper, get more details on that one. Fuel hike, labor, CSOs accuse FG operators of gang up and exploitation. Bam. Bam. This is a complete gang up. They're all of them in the business. They gang up against Nigerians. Yes. All of them, from federal government, reach all the operators, all of them gang up against the poor Nigerian people. Where the organized labor and civil society organizations, CSOs, have accused the federal government and petroleum industry operators of contributing to the mounting leadership hardship faced by Nigerian workers and the masses through successive increases in petroleum product prices. They also accuse the federal government of failing in its regulatory oversight. This came as Independent Petroleum Marketers of Nigeria, IPMAN, attributed the latest increase to repeated price adjustment by the Dangote refinery. My God of mercy. Dangote adjustment is reducing, but the increase. Can't they blame Dangote? All of una plus Dangote, all of una are the same thing. You people have gang up to make Nigeria suffer. Well, reacting to the latest hike in pump price notice across the petrol stations, situations across the country on Wednesday, the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, said the hike was particularly troubling given the relative stability of crude oil prices at the international market and the recent improvement in the exchange rate environments for local businesses whose cost factors are dominated in U.S. Dollars. Now, on one hand, our government will tell us, say, Naira is performing relatively steady. That's number one. Number two, the Strait of Hormuz Wahala have been resolved. So oil prices have since come down to about $75 per barrel. Now, why is it that we keep having fluctuations in prices in Nigeria? If they increase $1 abroad, now say because of international price, you increase. Now the price has been steady for like 2-3 months, but you're on the fluctuate like NEPA. I don't understand why. And this is very simple. So the NSC says gang up. And I agree with them wholeheartedly. This is a complete gang up. between the FG, the operators, the oil companies, and now Dangote, who is the biggest refinery in the world. All of them gang up to siphon Nigeria dry. When you make all this money, where the money? Where do you go use the money? You go die, live am. Yes, now, nobody lives forever. If you die in one small 6 feet, big. See, now, once the coffin size, and then small space so that the coffee go enter, then cover you sand back to the line, you become maggot meat or maggot food. So what on earth is this craze about making money and making sure that you turn Nigeria into poverty-stricken country? Because of subsidy is gone, we pass through this one now. You cannot stabilize fuel. How can we be buying fuel over 1,000 naira in an oil-producing nation? And then you blame international oil price. International oil price now come remove the oil from our ground. The petrol is Nigerians' property. Some people, they behave like they are birthright, and they don't get them. The oil belongs to you and I and everybody. But people in government and people who are in the oil business think the thing that they are own. They use and they suffer people. That is so sad. He said the price of crude has remained stable, but the exchange rate regime has become slightly favorable for local businesses, whose cost factors are measured in US dollars. The only justification for increasing petroleum product price can only be seen from the standpoint of capitalist greed, reaping the benefits of extortionate monopoly. Bam! A few dominant operators have become the major suppliers of petroleum products to the Nigerian market, and is always ruthless in exploiting any opportunity to increase prices whenever it presents itself, especially when the regulators in the industry have remained worryingly silent. All of them, NNPCL, NMDPRA, all of una gang up against Nigeria. I no fear to tell una gang up against Nigeria. Well, I don't know if these people hate Nigeria. All these people involved I don't know if people hate us, we the Nigerian people. I follow because of the use fuel. You will not give light. You will make petrol very, very expensive. You will make gas very, very expensive. Everything expensive. And then at the end of the day, you come up and tell us, say, now one thing costs them. Now Strait of Hormuz. Now this one costs them. Come, we're going to take time, all of them. All of them, I'm going to take time there. Who they join me, want them? I beg, join me, want them. I'm going to take time. Okay. Who can't think be this one every time? I beg, Jare, let's move on to another wonderful news before we call it a wrap on the newspaper review. Well, as Mustafa-led Kwara APC coalition defects to PDP. Defection of members of the National Assembly, Senator Saliu Mustafa from the All Progressive Congress to the People's Democratic Party has deepened the ruling party's crisis in Kwara. Explosion, they said, has begun. It does start to. Okay, this one, Senator don't move with all the people, all of them pack going to PDP. Now, you don't get ticket for PDP because INEC don't close them. So I said, they go there, which one cost? Now, but Bella, you won't do. How Tinubu is using subsidy gains to fund education, health, and infrastructure. Federal roads in South Zone, that is what the federal roads in South Zone. Well, go and take a look at the road. And the picture I'm seeing here, oh, my tabo. That is the lead stories on the This Day newspaper. And now, on a more annoying note, MTN records 62% local procurement, spends about 2.7 trillion naira on Nigerian suppliers in 2025. Okay? MTN, tell us how much you make from Nigerians in 2025. These are another people who gang up against Nigeria. Go to Ghana here, how much are the charges for their own line? They even do pay as you go. They need to do buy for 1 month, you think will finish in 2 days. If you buy data 1 week, data is supposed to be 1 week, but if you buy data, they will not remember, say, the amount of usage. Why do you not say the thing they last? If I know use I may read that 7 days, you could say it don't expire. You see these people? You see these people? Our Nigerian government need to look into all these kind of crazy things. Say the country constitutes 99.9% of its workforce, has 4 expatriate staff, and may seek 30% investment from Nigerian investors to acquire $1.1 billion IHS stake. MTN is trying to tell us that Nigerians they benefit. They do other things from local procurement. Nigeria and they work there. 99.9% of its workforce are Nigerians. But where the money they go? South Africa. The MTN Nigeria has disclosed that its 99.9% Nigerian workforce achieved over 62% local procurement and has reduced the number of expatriates in its employment to 4 compared to over 300 foreign expats it had in 2021. Well, this revelation came as strong indications emerged that MTN Group is seeking Nigerian investors to acquire up to 30% stake in IHS Nigeria to enable the group conclude the acquisition of ISH Holding Limited. The telecommunications company said it executed over 1 trillion naira expenditure on digital infrastructure in 2025 alone and pointed out that the next frontier was to export technology, service platforms, and intellectual property IP across Africa. MTN. All this one because of xenophobia in South Africa I've been awaiting. But as a good businessman, this is a very wonderful opportunity for you to tap into one of the most vibrant companies in Nigeria. If you want, they say they are going to have 30% stake for Nigerians. So if you have what it takes, go and apply and become one of MTN stakeholders. You go rake in money. These guys are ripping Nigeria off every corner. But no matter how bad they are, well, it's still most reliable in Nigeria. You cannot doubt that. All right, let's be here for the newspaper headlines, and I allow you to have a little bit of say before we go. Okay, there's no time for that. When we come back from the break, you will add your voice to any of the headlines we have shared for you this morning. And of course, it's still the newspaper review on Echo FM 100.7. Okay, people of God, yesterday Chelsea defeated Luton, and of course, they are now into the 3rd round. And of course, to all my Chelsea fans, we are hearing that Aston Villa goalkeeper Emi Martinez has traveled to London to undergo a medical ahead of a proposed move to Chelsea. Hell, at least make Sanchez no give us high BP. Sanchez nearly one cost paper. Blast Sanchez now make me sick yesterday. That guy, his errors are very, very, very high. Anyway, we are trying to fix that problem now. According to what I'm hearing, the fee is about £7.5 million. And then the cost of living in Nigeria, families cut meals. Family don't cut the meal where they chop. They are now borrowing. They borrow as food inflation soars. That is another headline on the Daily Post newspaper. Every evening across Nigeria, millions of breadwinners make the long journey home with heavy hearts and empty hands. What used to be a routine trip back from work with a polythene bag of groceries or a quick treat for the kids has turned into a quick match. They have to just fix. If they go home now, normally you're supposed to buy oyoyo, daddy, oyoyo, daddy. If they go house now, you're going to think, oh, wait till I want to give my pikin. No, you can't find maybe 15 naira biscuit. Maybe you'll give a man come out. Before, they carry ice cream, they carry better groceries. You go buy for madam, buy for everybody because things were cheap. Now, they don't cut them. This is how bad Nigerian system has become. Since 2023, fuel subsidy removal and the floating of naira, the simple act of keeping a home running has turned into an endless, exhausting test of endurance. Chai! The Daily Post captured it very well. In the food market, the drama plays out in real time with food inflation climbing relentlessly and salaries remaining stagnant. The naira is a working man's pocket simply cannot stretch to meet the evening budget. Well, according to data released on Monday last week by the National Bureau of Statistics, headline inflation in Nigeria dropped significantly to 15.43% in July 2026 from the 15.91% recorded in June. They go say it dropped, but food they increased. Who is deceiving who? However, even with the general inflation slowing down, the cost of food skyrocketed. Food inflation jumped to 20.31% in July from 17.51% in June, driven by a huge price increase in daily items such as rice, garri, tomatoes, pepper, and eggs. Now, they don't even increase Chelsea, the sachet one. This morning, somebody want to buy 150, they tell us at 250. The man shout, begin holla, holla. I come the one that say, wait till they make, somebody say, man, you can carry small Chelsea, use a hole himself, make him head no boss. They can't increase them 100. The man just the para in here because they add 100. The guy was having 150. They don't agree sell and give him. I just looked the man and said, this is what this country has turned into. On top of that, they want ban them. Hey, I don't know what the poor people do, this government. I don't know. What the poor people do, the politicians and people in government. What thing they do now? Hi. Well, mothers are now forced into painful compromises, standing in front of stores, doing quick calculation, deciding whether to drop milk to buy tomatoes or skip meat for eggs. Oh. Everybody to do them. I just read them. Everybody know what they talk about. The market woman where they say now, they not agree stock cheese and all those things. If you buy cheese, who they buy them now? Who want to go to do cheese? They rub cheese for bread. Nobody they buy them. Only the rich people they chop them. Poor man, you want buy a bucket of garri, will go last you a few days. What do they cook all this small plantain and all this? Plantain, one plantain now how much? The people don't they forget that to eat plantain for house. And these are things that give you iron in your body. How people just sick any and any, eating carbohydrate, eat garri, eat rice, eat garri, eat rice. Even the rice, no better stew. Now, our tomato, now in the rain now. Jesus Christ. Our tomato, both fresh and dry one. Now they go for market. You can't even see them. It's horrible. So horrible. And yet, the retailers say our gross domestic product has increased. The IMF will come, World Bank will come and give us nonsense statistics that doesn't reflect what Nigerians are passing through. And yet, they say some people have done so much well that they deserve second term. Only when they see them now, and I know what you don't want to do. Well, I hope when I don't say that word, 3 square meal has been buried. They don't kill them. It's dead and gone for good. Now 001. Or 0.5. Now what they do nowadays. I hope you understand them. Miserable life. You go give your pikin snacks, go school. You go there till 4 o'clock. You come back and eat night food. So that's how some families are surviving. Bread, we're supposed to eat better sliced bread. Don't get it. If you buy bread, now it'll be like foam. If you press and nothing there inside. I mean, it's so sad. Anyway, let's go for a quick break, and then we will come back. We'll continue with the conversation. Everybody join the conversation. Thank you very much for joining us. Be good. Don't touch that dial. We will be right back.
Echo FM 100.7, the fresh news people.
No sell your vote, no sell your vote. No matter the thing them they tell you.
It's the campaign season. Now is the time to stay alert. Watch out. Aspirants from all political parties will soon visit your villages and communities. They will make promises they cannot keep. Vote for the person, not the party. Vote for credibility. Do not be misled by lies, empty promises, gifts, or money. Ask important questions. What are their plans for the economy, jobs, healthcare, education, and security? Can we trust them with our future? Get your PVC ready. Vote for candidates with integrity, capacity, and a proven track record. In the 2027 elections, make the right choice. For you, for your children, for Nigeria. Your vote is your power. Your vote is your future. When it's time to vote, vote wisely.
Vote now only with your PVC, man. Sell your vote, you don't sell your future, but that's sell your birthright. How much divide them by 4 years? How much with that?
This message is brought to you by Echo FM 100.7 Owerri as part of our corporate social responsibility.
Echo FM 100.7, the fresh news people.
this week to help those in need.
If you know that it's God Almighty that created you and created we Nigerians like you need to do good things for us because the masses are suffering. How can suspend me here? Are we your slaves?
And I'm going to win this election.
That is the truth.
Stay informed with Echo FM 100.7. Join us for exclusive interviews with experts, breaking updates on local and global events, and in-depth coverage of issues impacting our community. Tune in every weekday at 6:30 a.m., 12 noon, 2 p.m., and 6 p.m. for our major news bulletin in English, Igbo, and Pidgin language. For more inquiries, you can reach us through our email, echofm@thekingmail.com. You can follow us on our social media handles at Echo FM. Echo FM 100.7 Owerri. We are the Fresh News People.
Echo FM. Echo FM 100.7, the Fresh News People.
It's the sound of the city. Echo 100.7.
Echo FM. Echo FM 100.7, the Fresh News People.
Welcome to the news update on Echo FM 100.7. Here are the latest stories we are keeping tabs on. The federal government has launched a new 5-year national alcohol policy aimed at reducing alcohol-related harm, tightening regulation, and curbing the growing illicit alcohol market in Nigeria. The Nigerian Alcohol Policy and Multi-Sectoral Implementation Plan 2026 to 2030, launched in Abuja, provides a unified framework for government agencies and other stakeholders to address the health, social, and economic consequences of alcohol consumption. Organized labor and civil society organizations, CSOs, have accused the federal government and petroleum industry operators of contributing to the mounting hardship faced by Nigerian workers and the masses through successive increases in petroleum product prices. They also accuse the federal government of failing in its regulatory oversight. This came as Independent Petroleum Marketers of Nigeria, IPMAN, attributed the latest increases to repeated price adjustment by the Dangote refinery. The Gombe State Police Command has prosecuted 167 motorists and other road users for various traffic offenses as part of its ongoing enforcement of Operation Velvet across the Gombe metropolis. The Police Public Relations Officer, DSP Buhari Abdullahi, on behalf of the Commissioner of Police, further urged motorists, tricycle and motorcycle operators, as well as other road users to comply with traffic regulations and ensure that their vehicles have all required documentation. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, University of Medical Sciences, Ondo, has commenced a total and indefinite strike over the Ondo State government's alleged failure to implement the 2025 federal government ASU agreement and pay arrears dating back to January 1st, 2026. That decision was reached at a Congress meeting following the expiration of a 14-day ultimatum issued to the university management and the state government. Troops of Operation Harden Kai, in collaboration with a special tactical team from the Office of the National Security Advisor, have neutralized more than 21 Boko Haram ISWAP terrorists during a coordinated search and rescue operations in Pokre Mountain area of Hong local government area, Adamawa State. The troop also dismantled the terrorist camp and recovered a cache of arms and ammunition following the operation. And in business, the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission has called for the speedy completion of its proposed headquarters, saying the facility will enhance the Commission's efficiency and strengthen Nigerians' appeal to investors. According to a statement by the head Media and Corporate Communications, Eniola Akinkuotu, the proposed permanent headquarters would provide a central location for the Commission's operations and engagement with industrial players, while also serving as a symbol of national pride and confidence in Nigeria's oil and gas sector. And in sports, President Bola Tinubu has ordered a comprehensive reform of Nigeria's football following a string of failures by the country's national teams to qualify for major international competitions. The directive came hours after Nigeria's Football Federation, NFF, President Ibrahim Musa Gusau, General Secretary Mohamed Sanusi, and members of the Federation's Executive Committee resigned amid mounting pressure over the state of Nigerian football. And on the foreign scene, President Donald Trump announced on Thursday that he is renaming Lake Ontario, a large body of water shared by the United States and Canada, Lake America. Trump signed an order in the White House telling reporters that the change was effective immediately. And that is all for the news update at 10, brought to you by our news desk. For more information and inquiries, visit our social media platforms. On Facebook is Echo FM. On X is at Echo FM_Owerri. On Instagram and YouTube is Echo FM 100.7. You can listen to us anywhere in the world by clicking on www.echofm.net. And that is the news update at 10. Thank you for listening. Please stay with us for the rest of Straight Talk.
Echo FM.
Echo FM 100.7, the fresh news people.
Every day,
every hour,
every minute,
and every second.
breaking news occur
From our villages,
in our cities,
new government policies,
the economy,
politics,
social news,
entertainment news.
security concerns.
We, the people, converge.
To analyze
Separating facts from fiction.
lies and truth.
We dissect.
We integrate.
We harmonize.
We criticize.
And we bring you all the juicy details.
Live on Echo FM 100.7 Owerri. It is Straight Talk.
Straight talk.
Straight Talk on Echo FM 100.7 Owerri.
Shall I begin? I am your host. I am your anchorman. I am the presiding bishop of this ministry, and I am awesome. My name is Barry Cosmos, the Radio Marshal, the Buruburu One on radio, the Okenze on radio, your big brother on radio. I am the main event, and I am here.
Live on Echo FM 100.7 Owerri.
Are you ready?
Welcome back, everybody. It is Straight Talk live on Echo FM 100.7. Anyway, you are to the main event. You are tuned to the main event. And of course, everybody, if you've not heard, we are taking a look at WAEC this very beautiful morning. WAEC results have been released. Controversy everywhere. And the people are screaming, why are we failing WAEC? Especially, why are Igbos failing Igbo language in WAEC? How can you be speaking Igbo and be failing Igbo? Does it make any sense? Are we making sure that we lose our cultural identity by hook or by crook? In what sense and what manner are we losing our identity? This is the latest of WAEC. So, with mass failure, only about 750,000 persons who wrote WAEC failed WAEC. They could not get 5 credits, including maths and English. Without maths and English, no university, no polytechnic. I don't even know if college will even take you. But at the end of the day, this is the reality in Nigeria. But most of them failed because of the CBT option. Some CBT tests, they complain of irregularities, they complain of glitches. This word glitches, since INEC introduced it into Nigeria, every other parastatal, they hear glitches. We don't need it, but then that's the reality of our today. When you take a look at everything that we have been through in this country, the biggest factor, very, very simple. But what do we need to do? How do we curb this madness? What exactly, why are our children failing? Is it because of WAEC, all these things are saying irregularities, glitches here and there? Or because our learning culture, our education have been brought down to nothing? From your foundation stage, people are being promoted without passing that particular class. Now, everybody, they move along. Before, if you fail SS1, you go stay SS1. JSS3 will come meet you there. Nobody will tell you go wake up and read. But now, if you fail SS1, you go SS2, they no longer grade you based on your performance. They say you either get A, B, C, D. So you keep moving until you get to WAEC. The grade will come there now, and then embarrassment will come. That's WAEC is now making our education look so glaring to everybody that we are failing woefully in our education, especially from a nursery, primary, secondary sector. The foundation is so poor. With all this, how did we get here? How did we get here? What can we do to remedy this situation? Because it's getting out of hand. The Southeast question is very important because politically, some people are saying that people who are controlling WAEC, they are trying to reduce the number of people from the Southeast in the university, thereby making sure that everybody is not that educated, blah, 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 blah. Foul. No matter how beautiful you say it, now go to our secondary schools today. Go and conduct exam. Just give them exam and then write. Are you aware that they do a SPO for primary 6 exam now for children to go to secondary school? First school even exam, they don't even copy for board. And children know this. So what's the point of studying? Miracle centers everywhere. Every school want their to have the best result. Every parent want their child to pass. Nobody want to repeat to pay school fees again because of hardship. So many factors have contributed to this madness. But at the end of the day, how do we remedy this situation? And that's exactly what we'll be talking about today. You're also free to air your view on any of the headlines I've shared earlier on today on the show. So let me open the phone lines. I've been talking since morning. So everybody be part of the conversation. 0911 20022 or 0707 454 1014. First caller on the line. Good morning.
My impeccable producer, my impeccable presenter, Barry Cosman.
Yes, sir.
God bless you in not a small way.
Thank you very much.
Senior Comrade Linus Duru,
Yes.
Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Join us. Go ahead.
You see, everything lies on neglect. Government have neglected what they're supposed to do in education. Secondly, people don't see education now as a vital tool for production. Because those who attend the highest score, even in the university, people who score the highest, grade 1, in everything they're doing, is no longer are available, they're no longer needed in the society to be productive according to their intellectual ability. So it is disturbing. Secondly, let me give you an example. Government wants NEPA to work. Government wants the whole factories or industries that led this country to what it is today to come back and start working. Example, Michelin, GBO Liban, John Holt, Liberty Technical, and all the rest. They have left this country to other countries because they fall of technical education. These people need technicians to forward their things, but now they believe in engineers who are trained in the school, who pass through literary education. That was the reason why education has no value. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Barry Cosmos.
I greet you. Steve.
Yeah, my name is Steve Ozem. I am calling from Owerri.
Oh, you joined the party this time around.
Which party are you now?
You joined the party of the colors today. Alpha.
Barry.
Yes, sir.
I am good. And you?
No wala.
You're lamenting about the state of education and the mass failure we are witnessing in the WAEC. And everything boils down to the education policy we have today. Nobody should be surprised. I think this is just the beginning of bad pen, no matter what anybody may ascribe to it. For me, if you want to know exactly what is happening in our educational system, go to our schools. You have mentioned some of them, that even in primary 6, what you call school start examination today, pupils, teachers help pupils to write their exams, meaning that you didn't actually tutor them well. So with the uprising of private schools, every private schools want to be seen as doing well in WAEC and those external exams. You see RNG, they arrange before time for the so-called invigilators, or what do you call them, those who conduct the exams. When they come, they are settled and kept away from the examination arena, while the teachers take over to make sure that there is massive better results for their own students. And you say, this school is doing well, therefore you send. Because why I'm saying this, I watched a particular school about the results of the students coming from SS1 to SS3. It was failure. But these students keep on getting, what you said earlier, promoted to the next class. But he failed. And you will be surprised that at the end of the day, this particular student will pass WAEC. So how manage? Then when you talk about Igbo failure, we have grossly neglected Igbo language. I am angry with the government and the education policy formulators in the Southeast. Simply because Igbo and Nigerian languages are not part of the 5 compulsory credit that you must, or subjects that you must have credit to gain admission in the, it's not the reason why we should neglect Igbo language. Nobody talks about Igbo language anymore. You see people speaking. What are they speaking? In the school, nobody thinks about Igbo language. In fact, some schools have only one teacher as Igbo language teacher in the entire school. So these students don't actually know Igbo. They can't even write Igbo. They can't even speak Igbo. And then you expect them to perform magic in the WAEC. I have always recommended that government should take a special look at Igbo language for those who try to promote and those who try to read Igbo as major, even in the university. They should attract scholarship. They should also attract automatic employment immediately after graduation, so that you encourage other people to read the language, because the language is already going into extinction. So you don't expect any person to do well in Igbo with the way that we are following Igbo language in our schools and the attitude of government towards the preservation and the promotion of Igbo language. I don't expect anything less than what we're having now. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much, Steve, for your contribution. Well, I'm trying to get some statistics here. Very difficult to get because WAEC is not releasing it. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Brother Barry.
I greet you.
Dr. John is calling from Akwakum again.
Welcome aboard, Doc.
Yes, talking about the decline in our educational status. It's expected, sir. Leadership must take responsibility. In a nation, government is everything apart from God. Government is the God we see. they can do, and somebody will say, I'm undue. A leadership must take responsibility. Look at our budgetary provision concerning education. The United Nations, with all its wisdom, has allocated or has recommended that a nation ought to allocate at least 26% of its budget to education. From my observation and research, since 1999, when we gained the democracy that we are coupled with here, we have not done up to 10%, sir. What are we talking about? The leadership we have, they have no control. The supervision is poor. Talk about the language. We should reach a stage where we should abolish this English language and use our own language as a lingua franca. That's the only solution. No matter what you do in WAEC and so on, as long as English is preeminent, we cannot forge ahead. Our language will still be going down into extinction. That is the truth. So our leadership, we need to take a drastic measure about our educational sector. Fund it. In those days, up to the 80s, teachers were held in high esteem. Brother Barry, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Their funding, priority was given to them. Education should be first. In my own assessment, education should be first in our budgetary, in our priority. Before we now talk of agriculture and then health. For an educated mind would take a better decision and make more efficient choice in his life. That is how I feel it should go. Unfortunately, we have people who are in leadership. What they think about it has to make money, and at the end of the day, that is the line they are dragging our youth from. Our youth are not interested in education. When they see our leaders and politicians making money out of nothing, they say, why am I going to school? School education is a scam. That is what is in their mind today, and it's difficult to convince them otherwise. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. John. Very big true. Well, it will interest you to know that among all the 5 countries that participate in WAEC, of course, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Gambia, alongside Nigeria, the best students, 1, 2, 3, the first, second, and third student is from Ghana. And they all sat for the same exam. That is how Ghana have overtaken Nigeria in everything. Currency, better education, better government, better. Everything is better in Ghana. These people who would pursue Ghana must go. Well, the national pass rate and the best individual candidates, they are not the same thing though, but definitely Nigeria is actually performing worse academically than Ghana, Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Gambia, all put together. Nigeria is performing the worst among these 5 countries writing WAEC together. And yet we're the giant of Africa. Very interesting. Oh, me, Tom. Good morning.
Good morning, Barry.
Hey. Kare.
Barry.
Kare. It's in the building.
How are you?
I'm fine. You know how many people don't send you love letter? They took plenty.
I beg. Tell them that I know Kitiba. Only that
welcome.
others who love you more than me, they don't want me to get that.
No, welcome.
Oh my dear, Barry, about what you're saying about vis-a-vis a decline in education system, my contribution is as right as the last speaker. So, but Barry, can one digress? Can one digress a bit?
Go ahead.
I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
That PDP senator that resigned or that decamped to PDP from APC, did he lose his ticket there in APC or what?
Don't worry, I'll find out. I didn't quite get that story. I didn't follow it, so I just saw it on the pages of newspaper.
Okay.
But I'll find out.
Okay. Okay. In addition to that question, sorry, I am saying that now that there is concerted efforts at convincing the artificially impoverished, vulnerable, gullible, less privileged class into living in fool's paradise
into living near ocean and washing hands with status. Priority should be given to insecurity, which is primus inter pares among the catalog of principle of negative responsibility for scarcity, insecurity, nepotism, religious bigotry, tribalism, corruption, and all whatnot.
Okay.
I think insecurity is the first among the equals there, and therefore should be given serious concern, because it is only the living that will live to clap for the affluence, the bourgeoisie. It is only the living that we live to enjoy and absorb the consequences of all the negative influences and impacts. So, like you read out, what is happening in Ogun State, and some papers read out the kidnappings in Niger, and so many places. This, I think, insecurity first before this 2027 election. Thank you, and God
Thank you very much, Madam Caritas, for your wonderful contribution. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Barry.
Good morning to you.
I am Alex Agondo calling from Onelga, River State.
Okay. How is River State this morning?
Well, we thank God the weather is very clement this morning.
All right.
So, continuing with your program. Like second to the last caller said, take government not away from anything that happens in our educational sector. Both the federal, state, and the local government. First, you bear with me that late 80s, there were some grammar schools that some technical workshops were built upon then, between 84, 85, thereabouts, to 86. And you've come to see that government in power remove this program and will not put another one that will benefit pupils and students. If you check how our education is degraded, I will say, right from 70-something, during the time of former President Obasanjo as a military head of state, I follow among the people that enjoyed free education those days and all those areas in schools. I would rather say that we enjoyed education again during the time of late President Shehu Shagari, who was then advocated to be a teacher. I stand to be corrected.
Okay.
So, since after then now, from the federal government, I don't think they have bring up any good plans for education. They will only speak grammar, but to implement it is our problem.
Not so. Baby grammar. Baby grammar, oh, no feel right.
Well, no feel right. Well, they say it is easy to say than to do.
All right, thank you very much for your contribution.
Have a nice time.
Thank you. All right, let's get another caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Barry Cosmos.
That's senior citizen. Mazu Zama, good morning and welcome, sir.
Good morning, Oga Cosmos. So, Barry, you are discussing education.
Yes.
Perhaps the most important thing to be discussed in Eastern Nigeria. Barry, I had the opportunity of serving on what was called SSMB, State Schools Management Board.
Okay.
As a board member, not as a student, though, I didn't work there. As a board member from August 1987. That's almost 40 years ago. Barry, you know, the board noticed that there were subjects where we lacked teachers. And we made it a priority to advertise for those subjects, those who could teach those subjects, and employ them, and there was an enhancement, something additional to their basic pay. Igbo language was one, mathematics was another. I think there are 4 or 5 other subjects. I don't remember all of them. Igbo language, mathematics. If you applied and you had all the basic education, you were employed. We put your name on the list there. At that time, the military governor had to approve, and he approved. What am I saying, Barry? Before that board was split into 2, secondary and primary. I was then on the secondary board before the creation of Abia State. But let me ask, what is the policy now about employing teachers to teach subjects that the students are not doing well enough? It's not just everything about education. There are subjects where you have noticed that at one time, most students were not interested in mathematics.
Definitely.
But there were teachers who made mathematics very interesting.
Very enjoyable.
We found them. We found some got bonuses. When you look at the level of interest of the students in mathematics, the board ensured that some had bonuses. They're giving bonuses. But what am I saying? Those in charge, what is the way forward? Those in charge must look at those subjects. Whether there is money for anything or not, special road, village road, whatever, we need to have our children properly educated to be able to compete for jobs. Barry, I know some young men now, they work from home. The people they are working for do not live in Africa. They stay in the house and use their computer. Not the Yahoo boys though. They stay and work. They have 2 or 3 jobs. Yes. Unless somebody tells you, it's first-hand experience that I'm talking about. Outside Nigeria, and they are paid in foreign currency. And they are all well off. But the people you work for must first see all your credentials to ensure that you are qualified. And here we are playing with education. But what is it? You forgot to tell us what is the budget for education in Imo State for 2026. Okay. How does it compare? Yeah, how does it compare with states that education as fundamental to human development? You know, sometimes we are just general comments, wonderful. Barry, I beg you, find out from those in charge of education. Beg them.
All right.
Beg them, Barry. Let them tell us how much the budget is for education and how much of that money has been released. Not like the federal budget. Okay. 280-something billion naira for health, and they release less than 40 billion. I mean, Barry, are you not talking of the budget? I'm talking of implementation.
That's
God
true.
bless you. I'm senior citizen.
Thank you very, very much, Mazi, for your contribution. Okay, that was Mazu Zama, the senior citizen. Okay, the conversation is getting more and more interesting. I'm trying to get some more statistics. Now, comparing Nigeria and Ghana, I've checked the results of Ghana, Nigeria, Gambia, Sierra Leone, and Liberia. These are the 5 countries who are sitting for WAEC. Interestingly, every one of them performed badly in mathematics, including Ghana. And again, when you look at the number parity, the disparity between Ghana and Nigeria and other countries, you will see a stark difference. The number of people who sat for WAEC in Nigeria, 1,969,313. These are the students who got, who sat, candidates. 5 credits and above, 62%. Now, so they get them. But in Ghana, the only people who sit for WAEC now, 461,736. They're not even near half of the number of Nigeria. Yet, they are beating us hands down. Oh, me, Tabo. This and pay me. Oh, it vexed me. Hello?
Hello, sir, Barry Cosmos.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Welcome
I commend
aboard.
you on this particular topical issue.
Thank you.
You see, the fact still remains that education policy should be the #1 priority for our politicians.
Okay.
Unfortunately, they are not implementing the budget as it's supposed to be. You see, if education is given the right priority, all these Boko Haram, because I trained in the North, they don't take Western education for anything good. So their psychic should be refocused for them to know that it is only with Western education they will be able to know the intrigues of modern economy so that they can be able to fit in with the modern world. So that's the problem we are having on this insecurity. The majority of this banditry issue is in the North. and they don't regard Western education. So let's take the campaign to the politicians over there. Let them make it as a priority so that from the primary, in fact, entrepreneurship education should be introduced so that we make less emphasis on all these formal grades or certificates, so that people should know that entrepreneurship is the in thing. You go there and learn a skill so that you can be able to have innovative ideas on how to even get self-employed and even employ labor. So that everything is not just getting A1 in all the courses, but emphasis should be placed on entrepreneurship education. So that when they go, they acquire extra skills, so that when they come, occupational skills will help them even fit into the economy. So please, that's my take. Let's take the message to the politicians.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, Mr. Cosmos.
I greet you.
Happy weekend in advance.
Thank you very much.
Yes, this is Amada calls from Uche Street in Owerri. Yeah, are you with me, Mr. Cosmos?
Yes, I am with you. Go live and direct.
Yes, as I said, it's Amada calls from Uche Street in Owerri. There is this popular saying that one can't give what he doesn't have.
Abi?
Yes, that is the truth. And you know, the person at the helm of affairs is Nigeria. His education is questionable, allegedly.
What you bring to Tinubu come here now?
Yeah.
Is it rubbing off on Nigerians?
You say what?
Is President Tinubu's results rubbing off of Nigerian students in school?
You can say it, or you have already said it.
Okay.
Yeah, let's leave it at that.
Okay.
Yeah, so the point still remains that our politicians or our so-called leaders, they don't take our education seriously, because the truth remains that their children and wards are being educated abroad. That is another factor. None of their children or wards are being educated here. So they don't take education of Nigerian children seriously. That is the main point. About Igbo language or indigenous language, Mr. Cosmos, it's possible for you to speak a language, but in exam you fail it.
Okay. Because,
yes, you can speak a language or whatever, but to write it becomes a problem. Or to know the rudiments of the language becomes a problem.
Okay.
So that is the point. Thank you. Amma from Uche Street.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right. We are still listening to Echo FM 100.7 right here in the city of Owerri. We are taking a look at the WAEC performance and other related issues that concerns our education. Now, Mazu Zoma mentioned budget, and I had to go take a look at the budget released by our government. And then the ministry released a different thing. I don't understand. First off, if you take a look at the budget that was released by the federal government in the 2026 budget, the Tinubu budget provides 3.52 trillion naira for education out of a total Federation expenditure budget of 58.18 trillion. 3.5 trillion naira is budgeted for education, which amounts to about 6.5% of the total federal expenditure, 6.05, please. There is another figure that came up. I don't understand where this one came up from. The Ministry of Education. The Federal Ministry of Education says it's 2.4 trillion. So when you look at the 3.52, you then see that it's an excess of 1.152 trillion deficit from what is announced by the budget released by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the one Ministry of Education. So what happened to the 1.152 trillion? Whoops, nobody knows. Now, that's a very serious matter. So, but according to the Minister of Education who defended the 2.4 trillion ministry budget before the National Assembly. It is broken down roughly. They gave universities 966.9 billion, nearly 1 trillion. Then they gave education parastatals 633.2 trillion, 2 billion naira. Now, education parastatals, what is their job? What are their functions? What is involved in education parastatals? They have less than 2-point-something billion. That's why universities have that. These are supposed to be our universities, our researchers, people are supposed to bring out gurus. But the money of education parastatals is nearly equivalent to that of the universities. We also have polytechnics. The polytechnics got a paltry sum of 256 billion as their own budget. Polytechnics were supposed to bring in engineers and technical people. The ministry headquarters, when I hear this one, no, Polytechnic get 256 billion naira. The Ministry of Education only got 257.8 billion. That is more than that, the Polytechnic budget. Unity Colleges had 155.3 billion. Colleges of Education got 125.9 billion. And UNESCO contribution is 3.36 billion, which totaling up to 2.4 trillion. That's what the ministry said. So the big question is, if the Tinubu administration brought 3.52 trillion naira headline, and then education ministry is giving us 2.4 trillion naira, so who's lying now in this figure now? Well, the Minister of Education is telling us what they are working with. If we go down further to look at Imo State 2026 education budget, the numbers here, you know what? In Imo State 2026 budget is approximately 1.43 trillion naira education budget. Yes. Let me hammer on this one small. 1.43 trillion naira for education budget. The education allocation announced in the budget is 60.623 billion. So, what do you got? When I just said 1.43 trillion in the budget announced by Imo State government. But the education allocation announced in its budget is 60.623 billion. You know, we'll reach half of the amount of money budgeted by education, for education. That's very surprising in Imo State. That represents approximately 4.24% of Imo State's entire 2026 budget. Where the allocation was stated by Governor Hope Uzodinma when presenting the budget and was reported in the budget documents news coverage. So, if Imo State budget is this, as covered in the approximately 1.43 trillion budget, and 60.623 billion is only for education. Just imagine, only education take more than half, or nearly half of it. Governor Hope Uzodinma is putting premium on education. But come down to Imo State education now. Ordinary junior WAEC, no problem. They no feel write them. First school living, problem. They no feel write them. Mock exam, that one, no even day again. Students are sitting down on the bare floor in Imo State. No chairs, no windows if the rain is falling, plus it's cold. The children are being, washed with all these things coming. Is it that their toilets are being maintained? Hell no. So, Commissioner for Education, what the heck are you doing? With 60.623 billion naira out of 1.43 trillion naira of Imo State budget, why are our schools still in the worst state? Public schools. I'm not talking about schools inside of Weretano. Go to the ones in the villages and see the schools there. You will run. And you expect somebody to be in that environment, study, write WAEC and pass. Some of them don't even know what a burette looks like or a pipette. They have never seen the color of any salt, and they are going to go and do experiment. They have never seen what a thermometer looks like or even a barometer, nothing. They don't have a lab, nothing. and they're supposed to write exam and pass. Commissioner for Education, what the heck are you doing? Only you, 60.62 billion naira, beg your pardon, for education in Imo State. It means Governor Hope means well for the education. But the people who are supposed to implement it, what will they do? So if this money cannot build all the schools, definitely. Teachers are going to be paid and blah, 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 and all those things. We all know that, definitely. But if you look at the standard of education in Imo State, they used to say Imo State, the only industry in Imo State was what? Education. What happened? I also look at Imo State performance in WAEC. Woo! It's not there, the top 10. No? It's not there. So what exactly are we doing? Parents, you are not left out of this. Almost every father wants the child to pass exam when he failed. In fact, you go to the school and you nearly beat the principal and the teachers there that your child failed the exam. Make them pass them by force. If they refuse to pass them, you change them school. Isn't that what you do? Now, when you put all these things together, and then you can't reach WAEC where you don't get control. You know if you control who they, you don't even know who they mark them. You don't know where the thing they come. You don't know who they. I mean, everything is out of your control now. That's the result we are seeing today. So when you put all these things together, we have a very poor learning culture here in Nigeria, in West Africa entirely, Imo State in particular. Our education has gone down. Imo State used to be the pride of Nigerian education. Every student was doing. In fact, the worst student in a class can go up north and be the best student there. But today is different completely. We are never going to stay shy away from telling you the truth. The truth is very simple. Both parents, schools, teachers, even worse. Teachers will go to school, time for teaching, that time, especially all those girls. Some of them don't paint face. They go use mirror, paint here, 25, carry eye pencil, begin to like they draw line for their eye. Inside the classroom, students are looking at you. Some go wear mini skirts, go stand, they write, skirt go to raise, children go to inside of the land, they go to bend under to look what they're not supposed to see. These are all things. When a child's mind is not on what you're teaching, how the hell is he going to learn? Teachers used to dress well. But now, we don't see teachers dress anyhow. Wear very skimpy, tight clothes, go there. The guys that go there to go impress the small girls. The girls that go there to go impress who? I don't understand. So it is kind of very funny. Not talk of the teacher's quality. I mean, we have Alvan, University of Education, supposed to be bringing us fresh teachers where they're in day. Anybody who don't find work, no see work, will find inside a classroom. That is the only place they can get where they will teach. Put all these things together. When WAEC reach, boza. This is the result. Man, I don't blame WAEC. Even though WAEC, and of course, the government in any way that they do, me, I'm not concerned. But I'm not looking at the factors that have led us to where we are today. We can cry all we want. We can say all we want. But if we don't fix these things, every year is going to continuously be worse. In short, let me even give you another statistics of failure, how it started. Small, every year it declines. Every year the failure rate keeps declining. It keeps declining. Would they hear people that score A1 again? Would they hear, how many times I don't see WAEC result? Anybody who see A1, be this bit, na Miracle Center. Ho-ha. In fact, the best students that they get credit. Get 1A. Those days, you go target subject where you get A, follow and bumper to bumper, follow until you get them. If you get them, you say, yes, this is my best subject. Ask children, what is your best subject today? They don't know. Hell no, they don't. Now, this is how bad it has become. In 2024, we had about 75% failure. I mean, people that passed. Now, in 2025, it reduced to about 63. Now it's 62. See, it's declining. Every year, it's declining. And then we think that we are making any efforts. We are growing. Education reform. This one. 72.12% achieved 5 credits before. In 2024. In 2025, It is reduced to 62.96 people percent that got WIAC 5 credits and above. Then 2026, it is 61.54. Maybe next year, it will be 58 point something. Now, so it drop, they go. Every day, it keeps dropping. And we don't want to do anything about our children. Well, I keep saying, Confucius, the Chinese scholar, said, it is not very difficult to destroy a nation. If you want to destroy a nation, you do not need atomic bombs. All you need to do is what? Destroy their educational system. And that is what we have done. Nigeria is heading to the doom if our education continues going backwards instead of forward. That is a simple message. A clarion call for both daddies, mommies, teachers, school owners, public education operators, and all the government officials who are involved one way or the other. No wonder every big man picking, they go abroad. Let's leave those of them in government. The big men who can afford, go to school abroad. If my Peking rich, I go send them abroad. Make him go learn. Because if you keep learning here now, nonsense. Abroad, will be Ghana and the rest of them. Now the things are abroad, not only America, Europe. Abroad Ghana don't become abroad. Very interesting. How laughable. Nigerians are traveling, say, where you do, are they abroad? Where you do, Ghana? And they live it better. Better currency, better economy, better government, better transportation, better security, everything in Ghana. Compared to Nigeria, giant of Africa. Tufiakwa. All right, let's just one or two calls before we call it a wrap. But still, let me take some messages so that I'm not going to deprive everybody who sent in a message their own take on this wonderful topic we are dealing with this very beautiful morning. Julie Nasike sent in this message. It says 2028/2029. Oh, sorry. Good morning, my eloquent and majestic Barry Kasi. It is unbelievable and completely absurd that 600 people were kidnapped all at a time in Niger State. One wonders how it happened. How were they conveyed into the abductors' den? How many vehicles were used without interception and interruption by security officers? Or were they voodooed into forest? They do ping, they disappear. This is incomprehensible and needs explanation. Again, the ruling government should be wary of the many provocative and inflammatory statements by many people. It is further disheartening that the security officers pretend they don't hear. In 2023, Oluomo threatened the lives of the Igbos. Okpebelo and Benue State governors threatened Peter Obi. A senator did it in Oshun. One sheikh called Christians infidels. A council chairman in Kuje, Abuja, has now threatened anybody that would not vote for APC. They should be checked before they set the country on fire. We hear herdsmen harvest farmers' crops and give to their cows and goats. They even go ahead and show us the videos with impunity. Yet, the security officers look the other way. Is that not a way of encouraging them to continue? Why is our country like this? As in Lady Julina CK sent in that one. We have Uche Onukogo still on our Facebook. Say Garcias, Mr. Barry, the presiding bishop of this ministry. 600 billion naira cash transfer. FG should stop sharing money. It's a customized way of looting our common resources. The channel of sharing and the process is suspicious. Without authentic data, the fund should be used to fix our refineries, fuel subsidy, while giving the governors the savings from subsidy removal when it doesn't reflect on the people's welfare. FG should explain more. And of course, Gregory Chidalu says, good morning, my presenter, Agabario. What else are we expecting since our leaders are busy compromising education instead of inculcating it, and the students are busy depending on AI and miracle centers? The government schools in the state have nothing to write about, and the governor is busy building robots. What a national disaster. Okay, Dr. Mrs. Suma Lebra. The mass failure of our students in the just released WAS result should be a matter of concern to everybody because it speaks volume of the disaster that has befallen the education sector in our country. This is quite disturbing and worrisome, and it shows the dangerous direction our educational system is heading to. And if something serious is not done urgently, the consequences will be calamitous for all of us. Government, teachers, students, and parents have a share in the failure. Government should desist from toying with education and glorious destiny of our children, parents should be encouraged their children to take the study of Igbo language very seriously. Thank you very much, Dr. Mrs. Sima Olebra. Also, Francis Omaga Namani, watching live from Amagunze in Enugu State. Greetings from here and keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Omaga. All right, we also have Okpongi Yele says, Barry Cosmos, may God bless you. My name is Inyanam Nwafigbo, the only son of Akwa Ibom. Barry, I'm the happiest man on earth. Ask me why. My son, Jay, cleared all his papers this WAEC, which shows that my labor is not in vain. Oh, hi. Congratulations to your son. I hope no be Miracle Center. No matter what this country will bring, no matter what our politician will do, Oluwa will still answer our prayers. Very good. God who started this good training in my family will continue doing it forever. Amen. And I wish I will use all Chelsea defeat to Arsenal and celebrate it. Hey, wait. Hey, I can't wait to leave this studio now. The August meeting are set. Jesus. We have, this other one says, good morning. Ah, God, this one is very lengthy. Let me find some small one. We know plenty. This one says, bonjour, Barry, miss my radio, my shot. I still remain Ejiko Bonna. Texting from my humble community, Amakuredere Zombe. Barry, what are you saying? We get rightly in this country unless we change every damn thing. Look, what is happening in the education sector is our health sector, our football, etc. Barry, the only way out is to vote in leaders who have people at heart, and time is now. Nigerians, go and get your PVC. And of course, that's the message. Boy. Time don't finish. Make a come to go. August meeting. Baby, nah. Stand up, I see you when. Why they hide now? Oh, Jesus. Eleganza, eleganto. I go there for this August meeting. Who want try? Yeah. Anybody will miss She Matters today, don't miss fire. Don't try and go anywhere. She Matters is next. August meeting. Bam. Today. I hope Nkwa be there because if I don't chop down while I go there. Barry Cosmos is signing out. Now it's time for She Matters with Mary the Slim Diva and the rest of the women folk. They are doing August meeting and we got special lady. We're going to join them today. I hear you say go on special lady. We're going to join them. Everybody join us live on our Facebook and YouTube. Enjoy the fun and the thrills of August meeting with Mary the Slim Diva and the rest of the crew. Bye-bye for now. See you next week, Monday, for another edition.